The arena burned with firelight, the shadows of 300 spears rising as one. Their tips glittered like fangs in the sun, aimed at a single man dragged to the center. His wrists were bound, chains clattering against stone. His clothes hung in tatters, dust and blood marking him as prey. Kalen lifted his head, his breath ragged. He had been hunted across forests, beaten in cages, dragged through streets where alien children threw stones at him. Now he was paraded before an army, condemned to die as entertainment for a king who saw humans as nothing but meat. Above him, upon a throne carved into black crystal, sat the alien ruler. His crown gleamed with molten metal, his armor lined with jagged spikes. His eyes burned like amber fire. When he spoke, the sound was a roar that silenced even the crowd. This human, the king declared, trespassed upon our land, stole from our herds, and raised his hand against our hunters. By our law, his life ends here. Let his blood feed the sand. The crowd roared approval, stamping their feet. Spears slammed against shields. Warriors growled, baring teeth sharp as knives. Kalen's chains rattled as he forced himself to stand. His body screamed with pain, but his eyes burned with defiance. I stole nothing, he shouted, his voice raw but clear. I bled to survive. I fought because you hunted me like an animal. Laughter erupted around him. Warriors jeered, voices mocking. Prey that thinks itself predator. Let us end him quickly. But then it happened. As Kalen raised his bound hands, something stirred. A heat spread across his palm, fierce and burning. He gasped, staring at his skin. A mark was etching itself there, glowing lines of fire forming a sigil unlike any he had ever seen. The glow pulsed once, twice, then flared bright. The warriors froze mid-step. The spears they had raised began to lower. One by one, 300 hardened soldiers fell to their knees, foreheads pressed against the sand. The arena fell silent. Kalen stood trembling, the glowing mark burning on his hand. He had no idea what it was, but it had stopped an army in its tracks. The king rose from his throne, fury twisting his face. What trickery is this? Whispers rippled through the kneeling ranks. The mark. It has returned. The prophecy. Kalen's stomach tightened. Prophecy. He knew nothing of their myths. But whatever it was, it had power here. The king's voice thundered. You dare invoke the old lies? You, a human, frail and unworthy. Kalen lifted his hand higher, the mark blazing. I don't know your lies. I don't know your truth. But I know this, your warriors bow, not because of me, but because of this. Whatever it means, it's not mine. It's yours. The murmurs grew louder. The king's amber eyes narrowed with something Kalen never thought he'd see, fear. Blasphemy, the king roared. He leapt down from his throne, stone shattering beneath his feet. His massive claws slashed toward Kalen's throat. Kalen raised his marked hand. Light exploded, meeting the strike. The king cried out, staggering back, smoke rising from his scorched flesh. The soldiers gasped. Then they began to chant, voices rising like thunder. Marked one. Marked one. Marked one. The king's fury cracked into desperation. This is theft. That mark is mine. I am your king. Kalen's voice cut through the chants. If it's yours, take it back. But if you cannot, maybe you were never king. The army faltered, torn between prophecy and crown. Kalen raised his hand, his voice thunderous. No more thrones built on blood. No more crowns forged in lies. The mark will serve no tyrant. Not king. Not queen. Light erupted, shaking the crystal towers, blinding the garden. The queen hurled herself at him, claws slashing, but the mark shielded him, hurling her into the trees. Her scream vanished in the blaze, silenced forever. Silence fell. The king lay dying. The queen was gone. And 300 warriors bowed once more, chanting with one voice. Guardian! 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 The princess turned to Kaelan, tears glimmering. You could rule. Kaelan lowered his hand, his voice quiet but resolute. No. I can guard. Rule if you must, but not as your parents did. Rule with peace, with truth. I'll stand beside you, not as king, not as husband, but as protector. The princess bowed her head. Then together, we will build something new. When dawn broke, the kingdom rose not under the banner of a king or queen, but under a vow, a princess to lead, a guardian to protect, and a people bound not by fear but by hope. And though Kaelan had come as prey, dragged before spears meant to kill him, he now stood as the marked one, the human who made armies kneel, the guardian who chose not to rule but to protect.